This video is brought to you by the community. Thank you to all of my channel members for your continued support. Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue looking at some Argo ships, and in particular the RAFT, the Reinforced Advanced Freight Transport. This ship is so freaking cool. I love everything about this ship. There are some features that are yet to come online, and as we await 3.23, this is going to be a ship that temporarily misses out on the future of cargo running. It needs some features added to make it feature complete and useful, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be an excellent ship. I've spent quite a lot of time with it. I bought it in game and I've grown extremely fond of Argo. They offer something unique. As I said with the SRV video, I feel like we need more Argo ships in our lives. The Raft is no exception to that. It looks absolutely brilliant. It screams industrial. It screams workaholic. You know, it's something about this ship that has, in some respects, the same sort of charm that you will find with the Drake Caterpillar. I love the Caterpillar because it makes me extremely happy every single time I get in and out of it. This ship is having the same effect. I think it's fun to fly. It's extremely cool. 96 SCU for the 32 SCU boxes to be carried in the back. It just looks like a skeleton, a very bare bones but highly efficient work horse for cargo running. And I have to say, it's been a very pleasant time with this ship. The paint job adds to that little bit of flair. It's a little bit in your face, but it does help sell that feel of industrialism, and it sort of belongs in a quarry. I could see rafts operating from quarries or something. If we get ground vehicles to the same extent of like drilling machines and bulldozers and things like that, I think the raft would be right at home moving cargo to and from quarry locations. I just feel that is the kind of vibe that you get from the Raft. It is an exceptional ship and I am extremely fond of it. As you can see, the design of it is in your face. Its gubbins are exposed at the rear, and you can see where the clamps are for the SCU containers at the back. There is the tractor beam conveyor belt system, I believe, at the back of this ship that we're yet to get fully working. The idea is that would move to and from manipulating the cargo when and however you choose to do so. So there are some features missing, but it's going to take a little bit longer for the Raft to get up to speed, but once it does, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. It looks great. You can see the cabin or cockpit is underneath, which is kind of unique. I think the Hammerhead is another ship that has that feature, but the Raft has it, and as you can see here in this particular shot, it just looks like it belongs. Now this isn't a quarry, but let's pretend that it is. In fact, it could be. We've got the roads leading to and from it. It belongs in this sort of dusty, dirty environment. It belongs here. It's its thing, and I really do hope that we do get accompanying ground vehicles, and they hopefully will be made by Argo to accompany such a ship. It just looks superb. The VTOLs are located on the landing gear. Both can move independent of each other, and that animation is really cool to watch. So it's a nice detail. Very strong landing gear, as you might expect, carrying the cargo on the underside of the ship. Obviously, it can add quite a significant amount of weight to the ship itself. And as you can see, the legs rotate independently of the VTOL thrusters. I'm not entirely sure if this ship is due for a full balance check for engine strengths and all that sort of stuff, but I imagine it will be, because I think a lot of the ships are going to be rebalanced for the new mechanic with master modes and the flight control systems that are going to be added to the game. So this might become a little bit more powerful VTOL wise, but as you can see, the animations are absolutely superb. Big, thick, long, sturdy landing gear with that rotation of the VTOLs, which is going to be extremely important, right? You don't want to be dropping 32 SCU crates on people's faces by accident. You do get access to a turret as well, which is located on the top. So there is some moderate firepower there for that little bit of extra protection. You're not really going to kill ships with these, to be honest, but it could be useful to ward off potential pirates on the ground, for example, if they're trying to board you or you see someone approaching. You have options. And then at the back towards the rear of the ship, we have the rear cabin viewport area. So there's a workstation in here which operates that sort of crane tractor beam at the back. So you have a clean line of sight while you manipulate your cargo. That's the plan. Doesn't quite work. Well, it doesn't work at the moment, but it will in the future. With the new 323, the ship's going to miss out a little bit, but hopefully with CRG being reinvigorated for this year, it shouldn't take them too long to get this ship up to speed. Internally, it's just as exquisite as it is in the SRV. You can expect all the same sort of minor details and attention to detail put into this ship found in the SRV. Very clean, yet industrial. They keep that look. It's a great place to sit in the verse. I have no qualms with the raft internally at all. I think it's really well designed. No bugs that I've found. That doesn't mean they don't exist, so it works, and that's a win. Here you can see we have all the SCU stored away nicely. You can see how they're stowed, and you can see that they are clearly clamped to those. They're not free falling anytime soon, so it's nice and secure. But that is the predominant way that you're going to carry your space trucking material to make the money. Okay, so let's move on to the internals, and we'll start with the living quarters. And as you can see, for a crew of 2 or maybe 3, this is a very generous living area. I think it's really well designed. It looks really cool. Hints of a workplace if you look at the ceiling, but overall it's fairly generous in its size, and although simple, I would say functional, and it is extremely comfortable for a ship of this caliber. There's storage bins, you've got a table, you have a very, very generous, we have the 2 bunk beds as well, but the kitchen size, it's fairly generous for just 2 people or 3 people. It's more than enough. So for those long distance cargo hauling quarry makers out there, there are worse places to be than the living quarters of the Argo Raft. I think it looks really, really good. Simple, clean, efficient. Very cool place to be, with hints of orange everywhere. Moving on from that room, we arrive at your stowage for armor suits. There is a toilet as well, shower toilet combo, all located in the same place, which is incredibly handy. We do also have an airlock located at the front of the ship. That's located directly next to the cabin cockpit area of the ship, which will be useful, especially with EVA having a whole new mechanic rework, which is going to be really cool. Then we have the cabin at the back. This is where the tractor beam crane arm thing is going to be used to pick up and manipulate the cargo. It doesn't work yet, but it will. Top deck then, that brings us to a component bay, dedicated components, plenty of room to get in and out, fix, repair, all of that good stuff that we're expecting pretty soon with the resource management. So there's a lot going on up here, but at least it's got space to do so. So that's a very good, easy thing to do. And that brings us to the engine room, where there's a few more components with these really cool engines. They look absolutely superb. They're not the best. I wouldn't say they're Hull C good or Hammerhead engines look really cool. They are self-contained, but that sort of orange swirl RGB effect is really cool. With the MFD there, hopefully that will have some function in the future, so you might be able to down tune one engine or up tune another engine, for example, things of that nature. Not entirely sure, but it's a very well laid out ship. So this is all on the top deck above the armory suit lockers, so it's just a case of taking a lift or a ladder and you're on the top deck, and you can have someone up here fixing things if things go badly. Moving into the cockpit itself, look how spacious it is. Again, very clean, subtle and efficient in here with the classic hints of Argo orange. It's so cool in here. I enjoy the seats, the MFDs, the radar is massive. The whole thing looks great. It uses a HOSAS system as well, so there's only just the 3 screens above each seat, but that's more than enough, and they're very easy to read and reach and get to, so the whole ship has excellent function. Internally, it's a superb place to sit in the berth. Okay guys, let's now take a look at the stock components that we will find on a stock Argo Raft. Okay, here we are with our trusty Moby Glass, long live the rework that's en route. And as you can see, we'll start with the coolers, and we have 2 of them, which are size 2, and these are the cool cores. No need to change these at all. I've had no issues with them. Power plant, we get 2, as we know, and these are the Diligence. Again, these are size 2. There's very, very little need to change any of these components apart from the quantum drive, which is the Bolon, which is size 2. At the moment, in this particular star system, it's far too slow to get anywhere, but the range is absolutely phenomenal. Later on, as the diverse expands, then the Bolon will have a place amongst the champions of QT drives. Finally, we'll wrap this up with the shield generators for the stock components, and as you can see, they are the Aspis, and we get 2 of those, and those are size 2. So protection is okay with this. It's okay with the Aspis. You may wish to change these if this is a ship that you're frequently using to transport your cargo. But if it's your daily driver and this is all you do, then obviously upgrade all the components. There's no downside to it. Moving on, we have the turret, which we can see is a M5A cannon, which is a size 3. We get 2 of those on the turret. Now you can, if you so choose, decide to put some weapons on the ship itself, just below the cabin. I don't intend to do that really, but for an example, I think we can throw some bulldogs on here. I have a couple spare, don't know where from, but I have a couple spare. You can throw some extra weapons on there. I'm not sure if they're gimbaled, to be honest, or fixed, but either way, just know that you can have some extra firepower added to the front of the ship, just for that little bit extra protection if you so require it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is take our walk around. While we do that, let's go over some of the features to be found with the raft. So it has external cargo, as we know. 3 external standardized removable cargo containers facilitate rapid cargo transfer, with each container holding 32 SCU. Control cab, that's the cab at the back of the ship. The crew can monitor cargo transfer and operate the rear-mounted tractor beam from this station. So it is a tractor beam that moves on a pivot, I believe, which is going to be super cool. Docking port, ship to ship, ship to station access is performed via a secure front docking port and the airlock. Extremely useful for EVA or going into space and dragging stricken ships' cargo out and sticking them on your raft. Weaponry. Main armament consists of a remotely operated turret equipped with a pair of size 3 repeaters. Optionally, a pair of forward-facing hardpoints may also be equipped with size 1 weapons. That's where we equip the bulldogs. Habitation. The 2-person crew is provided with the generous facilities including the kitchen, and it is very generous. Kitchen, dining table, bathroom and bunk beds that double as escape pods. So that is a feature I missed to point out. Having beds as escape pods is going to be extremely useful. The same with the constellations, you know, they sort of jettison from the ship, saving your life. So that is cool. Equipment storage. The raft features an internal storage of 96,000 and 2 400,000 storage lockers in the habitation area, as well as dedicated gun racks and EVA suit lockers. Now, I do feel like the raft is going to come into its own in the future. As the game develops, I can see this being used with ease and efficiency for things like mining operations. That ability to just swoop in, pick up cargo with ease without having to leave the ship, get your personal tractor beam out. You can just land next to the cargo or hover above it with the excellent VTOLs. Grab that cargo and you're off to sell. Come back, pick up the more refining material as an example, and boom, you're off to a Lagrange point or a refining ship to make your money. I think the efficiency and speed of which the raft will work is going to save a lot of headaches, as opposed to going in and out of a ramp or getting in and out of a ship and using your tractor beam, your personal tractor beam. So I do think the raft is going to be superb in those sort of business ventures, especially with underground facilities, just landing at a landing pad, picking up the cargo and leaving. That is going to be super useful when we get those new facilities in the game. Okay, so let's make our way into the ship. So we go up the elevator, as we would expect, and we'll start with the top decks. It is split into 2 decks, but we'll go to the top first and then make our way down. So we go up the lift, and that brings us straight to the engine area of the ship. Engine area, component deck. As you can see, even the elevator looks cool. So here we are. The first thing you're greeted by is the engines and those cool RGB strips. And we have some components here at the back that don't have their necessary components. Now, the engines are cool, and I hope this MFD, the monitor will have a function, as I said before, where we can tinker with the engine output and things of that. So these don't work at the moment. Now, I imagine these might be the jump drives or something like that. Oh, batteries. Yes. Now, we know batteries are going to be very important, because if the ship goes down for whatever reason, you can operate using the batteries, temporarily providing life support and fire extinguishing capabilities. Very important. We have avionics there, we just saw next to that button. I imagine that's where the blades and stuff will go. So everything is easy to get to in here. Very roomy, nicely lit. Love the lighting in here. And I just love those orange hinted tones. It's not too in your face. It's very subtle, which is bizarre because orange is a very bright colour, but it works well. Then we have our components here. As you can see, easy access. There's enough room for you to whip out your repair tool and fix whatever component with the magic lasers is giving you trouble. Now, CIG have said when they implement resource management, it will be user-friendly at first. They don't want to make it too complicated. I know there's a lot of people that are hardcore, like, well, you need to connect this capacitor to this capacitor. Nobody wants that. They just want a good immersive experience. So it'd be down to them how they balance that. I say nobody wants that. I wouldn't mind it, but I think if they go too over the top, it will become not enjoyable and tedious, and it's a very fine line to work. So that's all the components. You can see there's plenty of room here to get components in and out. It's really well thought out. And this one is for the jump drive, and another component there. Don't know what that is. I think it's can't be the jump drive, surely not. And then we make our way into the cab. So we have some power sockets, 2 MFDs in here, and then the main support station, which we can hop onto. As I said, this doesn't work as of yet, but as you can see, there's like a railing system, which I imagine is going to move forwards and backwards and then operate just a direct down pointing laser tractor beam, which will then allow you to manipulate the cargo into storage, or from storage, maybe jettison from the ship. There's a mini joystick there as well, so that kind of gives me a hint that this whole rail system, it will be a moving tractor beam that will move all the cargo. Doesn't work yet. It will. The sooner the better, because I think the ship is just going to be such a huge time saver. Yes, the storage capacity is quite small compared to other cargo running ships with 96 SUU, but if you're a solo player, are you really going to enjoy trying to load something like the Carrack is an example, because it won't have access to the cargo area of that ship, so you're going to have to sneak SCU boxes in one at a time. I think ease and efficiency of loading cargo will be a much better solution than trying to, say, fill a Hercules. The Hercules won't be too bad because it has its ramps. We'll see. It's interesting. I just think that the raft is going to have benefits in the future, especially with the 96 SU isn't something you should turn your nose up at, really. We know the economy is changing soon. Here's the airlock, and you can see there's wonderful. I think we're in Walla right now, which is a lovely, lovely place to be. We know the economy's changing. I can't wait for the economy to change. I think it's absolutely ridiculous at the moment. There are some aspects of the economy that definitely need sorting out big time. So I think the raft, with the economy as it gets into a better place, the raft is definitely going to be somewhere that you're going to want to be for ease of use. And logistically, it's very easy. You can see here in the living room, there's a teddy bear. I'm stealing it. Well, it's my ship. Technically, I'm stealing from myself. But I didn't know that was a thing. So we'll take the teddy bear as a mascot. We have some fine reading here. Always forward. A UEE marine story. Bit of lore that we can't get access to, but that will appear in the Moby Glass in the future. So anyway, back on topic. Living quarters. Excellent, excellent place to be. It's so generous with the space. This kitchenette is by far and away one of the best kitchenettes, if you could call that, a kitchenette. I think you could probably call this a full-blown kitchen, to be quite honest with you. Very generous for a ship of this size. There are bigger ships that don't have a kitchen as big as the Raft. So Argo clearly thinking about their crew and the potential missions they could be on and industrial endeavours. You are well catered for. So here we have the double bunk beds, well padded as well, so you don't get knocked unconscious during aggressive manoeuvres, which hopefully you won't be doing. We can log out from here, which is of course a huge plus. But look at the detail this ship offers with the stitching. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now these do double up as escape pods as well, and as you can see they sort of jettison through the floor and out the ship, I imagine, which will save your life one day. It's going to happen, and the fact that that is an option is very good, like the Constellations. We do have room for personal storage as well, 2 lockers for your crew members, so easily a ship to fly solo, a little bit easier with a friend, but honestly it's such a well thought out and constructive ship in terms of layout. It's easy to fly by yourself at the moment, and it will be for loading cargo. That's the whole point. So we do have our toilet in here, shower and toilet combo. Unfortunately though, I couldn't get anything to work in here, so I'm not sure if it was bugged or it's not been implemented. I believe it's the latter. So when the ship comes back for a gold pass where they add the components and stuff, I think this will all function. Not necessarily the taps and water, but the sink and the toilet should pop out with their own unique animations that we've seen from other ships. And then that brings us through to the armor stowage, flight suits and all that stuff. So there's enough here, and the gun rack behind that, sorry, so you can have a suit and your armor for each crew member, and then that's a ladder that takes us back up to engineering. So that's pretty much full circle of the ship. So what we need to do now is make our way down to the cockpit. So we'll leave this wonderful living area. We arrive at the bridge, and we'll jump straight into the seat. Little bit of a jerky animation that needs to get fixed. So straight away greeted by bright orange MFDs that look really cool. A little bit of obstruction of view with the left sort of strut, but the co-pilot will have the same issue on the right. It's really not that much of an issue, to be honest with you. You're not doing combat in this ship with this. It's very much get in and do the job. But the MFDs are really cool. The radars are nice and big. HOSAS system. I really hope that we can access some more buttons in the ships in the future. I want the full immersion. Hopefully most of them will be assigned a function. I think that's part of the immersion for these great ships. But the Raft, it's so cool. It's so cool. It really is a ship I've grown very fond of. So there we go, guys. That was my video on the Argo Raft. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you know what buttons to press. And I, of course, will have more Star Citizen content en route to your location very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Cheers.